welcome to Eye on Health. My name is Shay Pepper, the Executive Director of Global Youth Action, and I'm here today with Jamie, a registered nurse from the Portsmouth Health Department. Thank you for coming today, Jamie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So what we're going to be talking about today is the flu. It is getting to be flu season again.
Yes, it is.
So we're here just to kind of find out some information, get a few quick tips that we can take away so that folks can be ready and prepared to combat the flu wherever possible.
Yes.
So what I'd like to start with is what is the flu?
The flu is a type of virus. It's spread through typically coughing and sneezing, very common during these cold times, especially when the temperature changes from summer to fall. And it is spread through coughing and sneezing, like I mentioned before. And in difference between the flu and other respiratory colds, though some may be viruses as well, the flu is very specific.
Okay.
And
Okay. So you said it's a little bit different from the cold. Are there any different symptoms and signs that we should be looking for that tell us maybe it's the flu rather than just a cold?
symptoms between flu and cold, the grade of the fever, sometimes with flu, the fever may be a little bit more higher than that of a typical cold.
Okay.
Body aches, chills, runny nose, coughing, sore throat, fever, things like that are very similar to that of a respiratory cold, but other things that you want to look for is the temperature. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea are also very common with the flu virus as well. So to make sure and kind of differentiate the difference between a flu virus and a regular cold, you definitely want to get with your doctor just to make sure.
Wash your hands! First you need some soap, then scrub for 20 seconds. If you don't have a clock near you, then sing the ABC song. Be sure to scrub front and back, under your fingernails, and between your fingers. Dry your hands with a clean towel or a paper towel.
All right, so now we're going to talk about tips for preventing the flu, particularly for parents out there with small children and teenagers that they can do to help really prevent the flu, things that we don't often think about.
Sure.
So let's talk about the babies and children first. What are some
Yes.
things we can do to prevent the flu with them?
Well, babies and children, their germs on their hands. They like to touch everything, they put things in their mouth, so the best thing to do to help reduce the spread of their germs is to disinfect their toys.
Okay.
So Lysol sprays, disinfectant sprays, those wipes that say they kill 99.9% of bacteria. Those things like that are very useful when it comes to disinfecting toys, especially if they attend a daycare center. They take those toys with them to the daycare. Disinfect them when you get home. That way you also reduce the germs that they may have been exposed to while they were at school or at daycare.
In teens, preventing the flu in teens, other than keeping them home from school when they are genuinely sick. No, we're
Right.
not saying that you can just stay home anytime you want.
Right.
But actually, when they're actually sick,
Yes.
keeping them home from school. But what are some other tips for teen parents, making sure that they're thinking of extra things that teens particularly are not thinking of?
Yes, especially in the teenage realm, for whatever reason, teens like to share drinks with each other. Teens like to share spoons, forks, things like that. We definitely need to teach our teens to avoid doing that. Those are very common ways where germs can be spread, so we definitely need to teach our teens to not share utensils, not to share water bottles, sodas, lip glosses, chapsticks. Those are all very common methods of transmitting germs from one person to another.
Okay. And then also if they're sharing lockers or if they're sharing school books, anything like that?
Absolutely. Yes, same concept, any type of surfaces that could be possibly contaminated. Use the resources that you have to disinfect it, sprays, wipes, things of that nature.
And just encourage your teen to do that as well. It doesn't have to be a whole hazmat suit every time you
Right.
go to your locker.
Right.
But just making sure that if you keep a little thing of wipes in their locker, maybe at the end of the day, just swipe it down.
Sure.
Just encourage them to do that discreetly so it doesn't mess with their street cred. But that way they can make sure that, that everything's getting disinfected and they're not catching the flu.
Yes, absolutely.
The flu is unpredictable and can be serious. Who needs to be vaccinated against the flu? You. Get a flu vaccine.
One of the most important things that we can do, not for ourselves, but for the community that we live in, is to protect yourself by getting your flu shot.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And again, I'm Shay Pepper from Global Youth Action, and this has been Eye on Health. Thank you for joining us.